Hey everyone, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Well folks, Nightmare Month is halfway over this year, and as we all know, Halloween is every villain's favorite kind of holiday, and the Disney villains are definitely no exception. Speaking of which, tonight, we're going to look into a live-action Disney film which tells the origins of a sick, twisted, and devilish fashion designer ever. Released on May 28th, 2021, the movie is Cruella. Now, let's get started, darlings. Estella is a young and clever gifter who's determined to make a name for herself in the fashion world. She soon meets a pair of young thieves who appreciate her appetite for mischief, and together, they build a life for themselves on the streets of London. However, when Estella befriends fashion legend Baroness Von Hellman, she embraces her wicked side to become the raucous and revenge-bent Cruella De Vil. So, what do I think of the movie? Well, in my personal opinion, this film was really twisted and interesting. And yes, I enjoyed this movie too. But to further explain why, let's move on to Mustang notes. Now, this is the third live-action Disney film which centers on a villain, the previous two being the Maleficent movies. Walt Disney Pictures announced the film's development in 2013 with Craig Gillespie as director and Andrew Gunn, Mark Platt, and Kristen Burr as producers. The screenplay was written by Dana Fox and Tony McNamara, from a story by Alain Bosch McKenna, Kelly Marcel, and Steve Zinese. Glenn Close, who portrayed Cruella De Vil in the previous live-action adaptations 101 Dalmatians from 1996 and 102 Dalmatians in 2000, served as executive producer. Principal photography took place in England between August and November 2019. Now, firstly, this film was originally going to be the first film I ever watched in cinemas during this blasted COVID pandemic. But sadly, my Aunt Debbie got sick. So instead, my actual return to the movie theaters was with Spirit Untamed, which was much more fitting for me. Sadly, I couldn't watch Cruella on Disney Plus back then without wasting $30. So I had to wait until after my 30th birthday when Cruella finally got released to home media. Speaking of which, I heard that Emma Stone sued Disney for streaming Cruella, just like what Scarlett Johansson did for Black Widow streaming, which is a little disappointing, but it also makes me glad that someone other than myself is offended by the whole streaming media. Anyway, one of the things I like about this movie is that it takes place mostly in London, which I visited with my family during summer 2010. And I like the story's time period, which is set during the punk rock movement of the 1970s, which was another decade that I studied during my history of rock and roll class at Saddleback College. And I like several of the songs that were played throughout the movie. Plus, I thought the film was a pretty interesting prequel to 101 Dalmatians. Also, some parts were really twisted that kind of gave me flashbacks from 2019's Joker, but not as intense though. Also, while I don't know too much about fashion, some parts of this film kind of bring back memories from several My Little Pony episodes where Rarity is a central character. And trust me, Rarity gives Cruella De Vil a run for her money in my book. And now, let's move on to the cast. The main character, Estella Miller, aka Cruella De Vil, is played by Emma Stone, whom was in the Zombieland films, The Amazing Spider-Man, and the Croods films. Ever since her childhood, Estella blames herself for the death of her mother, Catherine, and during her adult age, Cruella wears a red wig and fashionista glasses, but not long after being hired as the Baroness's right-hand woman, Estella makes it her goal to steal back her mother's necklace and outshine the Baroness by pulling off several pop-up shows, which wins over the general public. And later, Cruella plans to get revenge on the Baroness by having her thrown in jail. Anyway, in my personal opinion, Emma Stone pulls off a devious and fabulous performance as one of Disney's nastiest villains. And I think her character is absolutely brilliant, manipulative, and creative. Plus, I thought Cruella's childhood backstory was very interesting, but a bit tragic. And I think her dog Buddy was a very sweet and loyal companion character. Next we have Cruella's bumbling sidekicks, Horus and Jasper Baden, played by Joel Fry and Paul Walter Hauser. In my eyes, these two are similar, but a little different to how they were back in the original animated films and live-action film. Yes, these two are petty thieves ever since their boyhoods. Plus, Jasper is portrayed as an intellectual guy, while Horus is a master of disguise. To me, I thought it was nice they took in Cruella when they met her at Regent's Park. Also, I think they're really sneaky while committing crime. Also, I think their dog Wink is a cute chihuahua, and I thought it was pretty funny when they had him disguised as a rat. Next we come to Baroness Von Hellman, played by Emma Thompson, whom was in the 2017 Beauty and the Beast film, Pixar's Brave, Saving Mr. Banks, and Disney's Treasure Planet. This character is known for founding the House of Baroness in London. To me, while she is fiercely protective of her position and reputation, she seems to also mainly care about her image. Not to mention that her brilliance comes with a deep selfishness, along with self-endurance and demeaning attitude towards anyone that she perceives as less than her. Plus, as Cruella said, she's also a psycho lady, like during the scene where she almost kills Cruella in a fire, and the part where her 3 Dalmatians made Cruella's mother fall to her death. And I thought it was really shocking when it was revealed that the Baroness is in fact Cruella's biological mother. Also, I thought the part where the Baroness uses a barber knife to nip Cruella's arm gave me Sweeney Todd flashbacks. Rounding out the cast is John McCreer as Artie, Mark Strong as the Baroness's valet, John, Emily Beecham as Estella's adopted mother, Catherine, Kevin Norvac as Roger Radcliffe, and Kirby Howell-Baptiste as Cruella's childhood schoolmate, Anita. And now let's move on to my final words. Overall, Cruella is a twisted Disney villain movie and an interesting live-action prequel to 101 Dalmatians. The story is not only twisted, but also interesting, thought-provoking, and devious. The music is amazing if you're a fan of classic 70s and 60s rock and roll. The characters were pretty interesting and memorable, and I thought Emma Stone did a wicked performance as Cruella De Vil, and I hope she gets an Oscar for her performance. Plus, as I said before, I may not know much about fashion, but the costumes were really incredible, and I thought the dogs in this movie were fun characters. So, if you ever get the chance, either watch this movie on DVD, Blu-ray, or on Disney Plus, and I'm sure that you and your family will have a wicked time. As for my rating, I'll give this film a 99% out of 100. By the way, Cruella's story is not over yet, because just recently, I heard that a sequel is in development, and I just hope it'll be just as devilish as this movie. Anyway, that's all for now. Be sure to join me next time, because for my next episode, I'm going to attend a Royal Halloween costume party at Royal Prep. Mustang Power. Now, before I go, there's something that I've been wanting to do for many years. She's all yours, boys. Fetch her!